தி சென்னை சில்க்ஸின் எல்லோ வில்லோ ஃபர்னிச்சர் குரோம்பேட்டை மற்றும் திருவள்ளூரில்.
கிருஷ்ணகிரி ஃபேமஸ் நான்வெஜ் ஹோட்டல் ஸ்ரீ ஜெய விலாஸ்.
என்ன தேடி வந்த வெள்ள தாமர உன்னால் நேரம் நின்னு போச்சே, உன்னோட அழகால ஒன்னும் தோணல, கொஞ்சம் தலை சுத்தி போச்சே, ஒரு பார்வையிலே உயிர் போனதடி, உன்னோடுதான் விட்டு போகாத நான் வாழ்ந்திட, உன் காதல் இருந்தா போதும் போதும் போதும், உன் காதல் இருந்தா போதும் போதும் போதும்.
Whoa. Amazing. Thank you so much for singing that for us. So how did it feel to relive the excitement of Butta Bomma all over again?
I think Butta Bomma has been a very game-changing song. Very few songs, from South India have gone on to become that big. And Butta Bomma is one of them. Kola Veridi was there, one of those songs before. And obviously even the Rowdy fellow song, Rowdy Baby, sorry. South Indian songs are amazing. I have been a singer in the South industries for quite some time. And, I sing in Bollywood, I sing in Hindi music industry. So when I get to sing South Indian songs, I can see the kind of creativity that the South industry is doing, and they're taking it to new levels every day. So I'm so happy that a regional song from the South has gone on to not only become a national hit, but also international hit. Butta Bomma has fans everywhere in the world. And it's done such amazing numbers online. It's been shared so many times. People are making reels, TikToks, I don't know what not. But the song is, far and wide it's reached. And a lot of people who don't even know Telugu are loving the song. So I think that's the true power of a song, when people don't even understand the language but are enjoying the song.
So recently you've sung, so let's come to a little bit of your Kollywood releases that happened quite recently. Yeah. So you've sung for Annabelle Sethupathi. You've sung for our amazing hero Vijay Sethupathi. So how did it feel like? How did it feel to sing for him?
Honestly, I've been a huge fan of him, and I've not been able to, sing before for him. But I'm glad that, finally I sang this song in Annabelle Sethupathi. And I'm really happy that there's even a Hindi connection. There's Taapsee Pannu in the video with him.
Yes,
so I think the song is really beautiful. It's composed by my friend Kishore.
Krishna Kishore is a brilliant percussionist. He's a celebrity percussionist here. So we were very excited to see him composing.
Honestly, I've been seeing his journey as a percussionist, and now obviously he's become a music composer. And I have played with him multiple times in different shows and events, and he's played on quite a few recordings that I've sung for Leon and other composers. And just seeing him grow as a music composer and be part of his debut movie as a singer, I think that was a proud moment for me as well. I'm glad I could be part of his first album as a composer. And I'm glad I could sing with Chinmay, who's one of my favorite singers. And I've always wanted to sing with her. Over Twitter and other sites, she's also, interacted with me a couple of times, and we've always wanted to make something happen together, and I'm glad that it happened in Annabelle Sethupathi. I wish to sing more and more songs in the Tamil language. I love the language. I've sung a few songs.
I want you to tell me one thing that is different with Rahman sir compared to other music directors you've worked with. Just one striking difference that you've noticed.
I think with Rahman sir, I had this fear that he's going to be someone scary to record with. Everyone has that feeling before you've sung for him. But when I sang for him, it was such a easy experience to sing with him. He's actually very funny. Not a lot of people know this, but he cracks a lot of jokes. He creates a very fun atmosphere in the studio. But that's with people who he really knows and really connects with. And I've sung like 2 songs for him. and I've done a couple of
The
shows
recent
with
one
him.
was for 99 songs. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a song called Hum Nawa in 99 songs. I haven't sung a Tamil song for him yet, and I hope that I get to sing one. I don't know if he knows whether I sing in Tamil, but I would love to sing something in Tamil for him. I've collaborated with him on 2.0 and also in 99. And I think what separates him is just him. I can't really define what's the difference between Rahman sir and other composers. It's just the way he arranges his songs, the way his composition is never something that you can predict. I think that is something that's really very unique about him. A lot of people have this Mukhda Antara structure, which you're like, okay, Mukhda has a certain tune, Antara has a certain tune. Sometimes obviously he has that structure sometimes in certain songs, but he doesn't have just a set pattern. He flows, and I love that flow, and only he can do that. I think that's something that's very unique to Rahman sir.
Amazing. Thank you so much. See, we are very excited to ask about Rahman sir, because he's a little, he doesn't express much when
Rahman sir is very, very shy in terms of like, he doesn't open up very easily. But when he does open up with the people who he's close to, and I've seen that because I was very scared before I went into the recording.
We have been a part of a few recordings as well. So for people who get to see his interviews, they don't really know the funny side of him.
So correct.
So as far as we can, we try to get authentic information from musicians who worked with him.
I know, I can understand. I mean, a lot of people, Rahman sir, doesn't talk much actually. He's a man of very few words. And when he does say something, it really, he means it, and he says things with meaning. Otherwise, he won't say anything. So I think it's just, I think he's just comfortable with people who are near him and like who work with him on a daily basis. They see him in a very different light than others do. But I was scared before meeting him. I was like, I hope he's not going to be strict. I hope he's not going to shout at me, or I hope I don't mess up in his recording. Every singer feels like that when they're recording with Rahman sir. But I had a complete, change in myself about what I thought about sir, and it was just a comfortable, amazing recording. And sometimes he just lets you do what you want to do and just lets you loose. And I think that's something beautiful about him. He doesn't let you get restricted to the composition. If there's something that you can add to it on your own as a singer, he lets you do that. And then if it doesn't work, he'll remove it, but he lets you do that. And I think that's something beautiful, that I got to know when I was working with him.
And congratulations, Barsat, we heard.
Yes.
It's the first from Malik family, so I guess.
Yeah, so this is the first time that me, my dad, and my brother, all three have come together on a song. My dad has directed the video, and my brother has composed the song. So it definitely is a very... we
know your father as a musician, but so he's directed the video this time.
So my dad obviously is a music composer, and he is also a singer. But he is very creative. So he has his hands in many different things. So he put on the director's hat for this song, and he had a vision for the song, and he wanted to direct the video for me and for my single. So people know him as a music composer, but I think he's a fabulous director and he has a great vision. So I'm really happy that this project has happened the way it did.
Amazing. To all the dads out there who have musicians as your sons or daughters, start directing, start making us feel like stars. Amazing. So I was watching your live today, apparently, and there was someone who asked, will Arman get his girl in this video? What did they mean by that?
So basically, in every video that I do, the non-film songs that I do, albums and singles that I put out, in the video, I never get the girl in the end of the video. She always leaves me, or I'm stranded, or there's a breakup that's happening. So the fans want to know why I'm not getting the girl. And the answer to that is that the composer and the lyric writers, they make such songs that the video has to end with me being alone and the girl going away. So I can't do much, but I have to portray it, in the music video in that manner. But don't worry, fans, I will get the girl in the next few videos.
So Arman, how does it feel? So do you think you have more of women fans or girl fans than of boys, or do you
Honestly, on my Instagram, when I see the statistics, it's reversed. There are more male followers than female followers, and I'm confused because everyone says that you have a huge female fan following. But yeah, I mean, I think I have a lot of love from both guys and girls. But yeah, I mean, it's more visible to see the love online from the ladies. Any person in my place would, just be, they'd be the most happiest, luckiest person in the world. So I do feel lucky that I get so much attention and love from the people, from the fans. And yeah, I mean, it truly is awesome to be who I am. I love being Arman.
Amazing. Yes. I'm very proud to say this. You are the Prince of Pop of Indian music industry. So what does that mean to you? And how do you consistently keep that title happening?
I mean, honestly, I don't know how that title came into being. My fans love me so much and they keep calling me Prince. And that title is just stuck now, Prince of Pop and Prince of Romance. And I feel there's no pressure to kind of live up to that. And I mean, it's a title given out of love. So I don't think there's anything that I need to keep on doing to keep proving that I'm any Prince of Romance or Prince of Pop. I just want to do good music and I want to touch people's hearts. I think that's the main focus here and intention here. And titles will come, titles will go, but I think it's just about how true you are to your music and to your fans. And I think that's something that I always focus on, nothing else. I mean, I'm glad, I'm blessed that I'm called these names and I'm called Prince of Pop and stuff. It definitely makes me feel awesome. But there's no pressure. There's no pressure that I need to keep proving myself to be worthy of any title. I just want to do better work than what I did last. So my next song should always be better than my previous song. That's my goal.
Amazing. So beautifully said. Thank you so much, Aman. So for us, for musicians, I mean, for this generation of musicians, you are someone who is being followed not just by the people of your own country. You're globally popular and you have a huge fan following. So what do you think what was that one thing that personally made you connect globally with audience apart from Indian music?
I mean, obviously, before I did global pop music in English, I had already seen a lot of fans from different countries like Indonesia. I had seen fans from Mexico. I had fans from Singapore, Australia, New Zealand. So it wasn't that only because I did English music that I had international fans. It was much before that as well. But I think when I started doing English music and when a lot of people from different countries started listening to my music, once they heard my English music, after Control, the next in the playlist was Butta Bomma. So they heard a little bit of Butta Bomma and they're like, wow, this is very unique, this is different. So I think I made a lot of, people who didn't know much about Indian music and much about what we do here in India as musicians, made them a little more aware about how, who we are and who I am as an artist. And I think that's what I'm really, really proud of, that I've been able to convert some of them into fans of Indian music. My aim has always been to unite people from different parts of the world through my music. And I know that it's possible because if Butta Bomma can become a hit and make people, outside of the Telugu language, fans of it, I think it's possible with any song in any language. So it's about just doing the right music and reaching out to the people. And I feel like there are a lot of fans who are just waiting for good music. It's as simple as that. And I think we're doing a bunch of amazing music here in India, and it deserves to go global. And I'm glad that I've been able to make a little bit of change in the way Indian artists are looked at. And I hope that more and more places where Indian artists haven't been seen, we get to be there.
Amazing. So as a musician, I understand quite a bit when you approach a song that has more of a melancholic feel to it.
Yeah.
So I personally think your voice is absolutely mellifluous, but it suits a melancholic song just like your own skin. And you also approach a happier song like Butta Bomma, which also has a little bit of love to it. But how do you approach? Fans would like to know how Arman, who sounds melancholic otherwise, brings so much joy to a song like Butta Bomma. How do you approach cross-genre songs?
I think as a musician, as singers, we are expected to have that knack or ability to switch between moods. And when I come for a song recording, and when I hear the song and the kind of mood it is, I need to be in that mood. I need to make sure that the atmosphere in the studio is also in that mood. So sometimes when I'm singing a melancholic song or a sad song, I do switch off the lights in the studio, and I try to be in a dark zone so that I can get that that emotion running. Or if that doesn't work, sometimes I remember a memory which is sad or that has hurt me in the past, and try to access that and try to then sing in that manner. When I had to sing something like Butta Bomma happened, the recording for Butta Bomma happened half and half in Bombay and Hyderabad. Bombay, it happened in a recording studio, and in Hyderabad, it happened in, I'll actually say the name of the hotel. There's this Hyatt in Gachibowli, the hotel. So Thaman sir had booked a room for us to record in the room. And not a lot of people know this, but Butta Bomma's Charanam was done in Bombay, and the Pallavi was done in Hyatt Gachibowli. Oh. So I mean, a song has its own journey, and as a singer, when you've sung a certain song, and then when you have to read up that song in certain lines to achieve the same feel as what you did in the first recording gets a little tough, because in between those two recordings, so much of time has been spent in doing other things. The energy is different. You feel differently. So when I come back and re-record it, I have to put myself back into that zone and sing it again. So I think it is challenging for singers to switch between genres, but it's not impossible. It takes a lot of practice. The more and more recordings you do, the more you realize how to switch between those genres. There are certain facial expressions that I make to emote, a happy song or a sad song. So sometimes I switch off the lights also, so that no one sees what faces I'm making in order to get the right tone.
So it's more like how actors,
Yeah, like I could call it method singing. Yeah, I could call it method singing. I mean, I know there's no term like that, but it could be.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time. And I hope we get to hear you sing a lot of Enga Tamil songs in Konjanala. So I really hope, please, Ellarum, Arman, Englikaga paaduveenga. Thank you so much, Arman, for your time. That was very, very valuable, very precious for me personally and for Behindwoods. On behalf of Behindwoods, I would like to thank you again. Thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on Barsats. May it be one amazing, amazing hit. And all the best to your entire family who were a part of it. And just wishing you only the best in whatever you do.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
தி சென்னை சில்க்ஸின் எல்லோ வில்லோ ஃபர்னிச்சர் குரோம்பேட்டை மற்றும் திருவள்ளூரில்.
கிருஷ்ணகிரி ஃபேமஸ் நான்வெஜ் ஹோட்டல் ஸ்ரீ ஜெய விலாஸ்.